fact, we were looking at the unemployment rate and the employment data state by state, and it's apparent to me that half of the U.S. economy right now is actually in a recession, and people are focused on the half that isn't. But the recession pressures are building. I know that nobody's talking about them, but those recession pressures are building, and people calling for a soft landing. Well, we're already in the soft landing. The question is what happens next. And I think that the next landing is going to be a recession that surprises everybody, just as it did in 2001 and 2008. It won't be as severe, but the business cycle isn't dead.
So talk to us about where you see the most pressure, right? That's going to make the economy go from soft to the bottom falling out.
Well, two prime areas right now. You're seeing the housing market is rolling over again, and that has very strong multiplier impacts to the rest of the economy. And you're seeing a whole lot of pain spreading across the consumer sector, especially low-income and middle-income households, who all of a sudden feel these high prices. They didn't feel them before because they were swimming in $2 trillion of excess savings. Those savings are gone. So now consumers are really feeling the pinch. And of course, we still have the lagged impact of all the damage the Fed has done. The economy has not come close yet to resetting to this new higher interest rate regime. And it got clogged up last year because of all the fiscal stimulus and that last leg of the excess savings being put to work. That's in the rearview mirror. So it's really two critical components here of domestic demand, housing and cyclical consumer spending.
So it sounds like the Fed can't cut too soon then. So Friday, the PCE print, if it does come in softer, let's say at 2.6 or so, then it increases the odds they're going to start a fresh rate cut cycle in September. Do you think that's when they're going to move?
Well, I think the markets already are priced for a flat headline on the PC deflator and 0.1 on core, and so it would have to come in a lot better than that to move the needle on the markets. I think the Fed, look, the bottom line is the longer they wait, the more they're going to have to go. And they seem to be like the proverbial deer in the headlights. They were so shamed and embarrassed by transitory and then missing the inflation that they're really scared. They're scared. They're scared to move rates and in their view, move them prematurely. I don't think that's justified, but these are human beings running the central bank. But it's a case of once burned, twice shy. I think that they would sacrifice the economy to make 100% sure that inflation is heading towards target sooner rather than later. And that's the new operative word, right? It used to be transitory. Now it's confident. They need confidence. They need ongoing confidence that inflation, the downward momentum, is going to remain intact. I think that it will be, but they're not so sure. So they're going to bide their time. I do agree with Barry Knapp. I think that he had mentioned September. I think that they'll set the plate for that somewhat at the July meeting, and then Jackson Hole, I think that Powell will come out and give that hint that September cut's going to come. I don't think that the election is going to get in the way of that. But again, the economy and inflation and the labor market are going to dictate that. But I think that I am starting to see, I know nobody else seems to, but I'm starting to see recessionary pressures build. And I think the earlier hiccup and the inflation numbers were an earlier hiccup, and I think we're going to resume the downtrend through the balance of this year and well into 2025.